Alright, I got something exciting this morning. It's Sunday. We're headed to get a new power plant for the El Camino. A turbo 350 attached to a small block 350. So that's going to be our new power plant for the El Camino. It's coming out of a C10 pickup. So I got the cherry picker behind me here. We're headed over to the guy's house. We're going to help him pull it and get it loaded up, take it home, and assess what's our next step. So hope you come along for the ride and check out this new power plant and plan for Vinay's El Camino. Let's go. Blooper. Let's ride. Let's ride. Let's ride. So this is my buddy Ryan. I work with him. We're both garbage men.
Yeah.
He actually trained me, and that's when I found out he had the small block Chevy as a 350 and a turbo 350 attached. And you know, he mentioned that it was in his C10 and he had bigger plans for his C10. So, you know, he mentioned he might be selling it, and I reached out to him and he's selling it. So why don't you tell us how you got the C10 and the motor?
All right, well, I first got my commercial driver's license for Class B is for driving school buses. And one of the old ladies that drove school buses with me, we got talking and telling her my hobbies and stuff. And I've had multiple old cars. And she said, yeah, I've got this old truck. I've had it since 78. And I'm the second owner. And it's been sitting in my driveway for 9 years. If you want to come and take a look at it. I was like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll take a look at it. No intention of buying, no nothing. Didn't have the money to put another project together or even start one. And so I went over to her house, and I pull up, and there's a 1976 short wide body, original truck, motor, transmission, everything from 1976. She's the second owner. The first owner bought it in California to tow a trailer for work, and he needed a bigger vehicle, so he bought a 454, and she bought it from him, and she's had it ever since. Her and her husband used to do dirt track racing down in what is that, Anaheim, California. And on the weekends they'd go and do dirt track, and at night he'd unhook this from the trailer and he'd race the Camaros on the street back in the 70s and the early 80s. And he said it wasn't fast enough, so he took the motor out, rebuilt the bottom end, bulletproof is what he was telling me. He had it built, blueprinted, all that balanced. And then they drove it for 168 miles, or 168,000 miles. And when I pulled up and she showed it to me, she goes, are you interested in having this truck? And I was like, yeah, but right now I just don't have the money. And she said, here's the deal. You're not allowed to get rid of it, and I'll give it to you for free.
Dang, dude.
Right.
Those are the deals we're all looking for.
Right? Yeah, the stuff that it's like, and I was like, I don't have a place for it. I ended up having to have it sit at my mother-in-law's house for almost 2 years. Just taking small things here and there off of it. My plans were not to keep the 350 in it. I have a 1969 Cadillac 472 big block that I am currently building. It is in the early stages, but that and a 400 turbo train, yeah, we're looking at about $5,000-$6,000 just to put it back to close to stock. I'm gonna put a mild cam in it, but other than that, I want that big block sound. So, and this deserves to have that. So.
Yeah. So then, what's your plans for the truck? Are you gonna just?
I'm keeping the truck forever. I actually started doing some mock-up work and looking at seeing about doing a body lift on it. It is a two-wheel drive, but I don't want to slam it like everybody else does. I want to have it up a little bit. I'll probably put some 30-inch tires on it, and do a little bit different suspension work on it. Bring the front end up a little bit more, and
I mean, I was taking a look at it, and it's pretty. Like, I mean, you got a little bit of. Like, this door probably needs replaced, and then but your cab corners, where most of them
cab corners are great.
Yeah.
The rockers are gone. The doors are donor doors, and they're not rusted on the bottom. So I'll be replacing the rockers, and this right here is bent a little bit, so I'll have to get a little tree, pull it back out,
But you're just gonna keep it as is?
Yep, I'm gonna keep it as is. I'm gonna not do too much to it. I'll put a cheapo paint job myself on it. Just all one color. I'm thinking like just a matte green or something like that. Nothing fancy.
Yeah.
Something if I scratch it, I can just spray paint it back.
Yeah.
So, but I will keep this forever. I've got a 10-month-old baby boy that'll be driving it in high school.
Yeah, that's awesome. So anyways, let's shoot the motor real quick. So this is what we got. This is what we're working with here. Ryan already got this fender off. I don't know, are we gonna pull the whole clip off, or are we gonna just try to
we probably can try to just take it out as is. If we need to, we can take part of the clip off.
All right, so what's the plan here? Do you have a plan? We pull on the radiator.
Yep, we'll pull the radiator, and get those motor mounts set. Hopefully, we can just keep the motor mounts on the motor itself. That might be easier. Just take it right straight off the frame.
And is the transmission bolted up? Is
the
driveline in?
Yep, driveline's in and transmission's bolted up. So once we get it loose, we'll have to rock it forward a little bit and pull it out. It has aftermarket exhaust manifolds on it, long tube headers, a newer cap rotor. There's a lot of newer parts on it. It runs, but I was having issues with the carburetor.
Yeah, we're not gonna show you all the bolt turnings. I mean,
it's a straight 350. It comes apart the same way as every other 350 does.
So yeah, we're gonna get started, and then we'll turn the camera on and show you progress or any hiccups we run into. Here, so we had our first hiccup. Ryan didn't get a chain. He said he would have one. Apparently it's at his buddy's house, but it might have a plate for the manifold. So he's looking for that. So hopefully we can find it, or we're not gonna get very far on the project. We've gotten the radiator out, the driveline out, put some gloves over the yoke there, so it shouldn't drain too much. Now we're just pretty much down to unplugging. You know, we got the fuel line off there, all our hoses. So let's see what happens. Oh, look at this! He found the plate. So we should be able to make this happen.
Yep.
It's a new plan. We try to just take the brackets off the frame, but we're going to take the motor mounts off, and then we'll get the brackets off the frame. Motor mounts, transmission mounts, speedo cable,
Wiring,
yeah,
starter lines.
Our fuel pump's dangling down because we had to get the fuel pump off to get the motor mount bolt out, and our header's loose on the driver's side because the bolt was in the other way and it was hitting the header. So now we just got to see what's happening.
Don't worry, I called the EPA. They said it was fine to put a shit on the ground.
That's water.
Yep.
A little bit of solvent from our steering fluid, but a little cat litter won't fix, right?
Right.
Maybe down a little bit. We're hitting the
We're
firewall.
gonna have to take this header off.
So the torque wrench.
The torque wrench. The great recovery tool.
Yeah, we're gonna have to take off this side too. What else can we find that we didn't detach?
Nothing?
Looks like we made it out of the vehicle.
just wanted to turn it before we. Whoa, shit! It's coming down. There we go. We gotta keep the transmission in the center.
Okay.
Good thing I'm fat.
Is it just because we're on a hill? Well, let's just slide it forward. Let's see if you keep your foot on that side, I keep my foot on this side. And see if we can just. All right. I think we're showing it. This far in it, so we're gonna be able to get it.
Yep. Because of this. So let's swing.
Are we hitting anything over there?
You good? Okay, it's in. You want, hold on one sec. You got it?
Yeah. All right. There we go.
Tire's under.
We're under?
Yep.
We're in?
Yep.
Is the gate locked? Yeah.
Yeah, it's locked in. Now, since you're going to be real heavy in the back, driving back, so don't drive like you drive your garbage truck.
All right, so it's the next day. We got the engine on, 2 Hoosier tires and a couple blocks on the transmission. I didn't get that recorded because I went and picked up a buddy to help me get it unloaded. And he wasn't feeling well, so it was kind of a quick ordeal. Everything went smoothly. Just unloaded it, turned it around, dropped it right here. The reason why I wanted a buddy was the Jegs jack that I picked up. I picked this jack up for like $150, free shipping. It worked. It worked for what we were doing. It was advertised as a 2-ton lift, which the Ram jack is rated for 2 tons. But on the box, when I got it, it was advertised for a 1/2 ton, which with the arm all the way extended is only a 1/2 ton. It worked for what we were gonna do, or what we did. A few things. There's no handle to push it, so that made it difficult. The bolts, I torqued them down before I left. I put it together, torqued it down, and they were tight. And I think just from rolling it around on his rough driveway, maybe they loosened up. I've retorqued them since then, but the whole thing was starting to flex, and it almost tipped over on us once. So I was a little sketched out about that. Engine hoist worked, but probably get you something a little better. I mean, this is the cheapest thing they got, and if this is what you want to use, just know there's some limitations to it. We took off the core support off his truck, which we didn't record that or even mention it. It was just 4 bolts onto that one fender he still had on the truck, and then the 2 body mount bolts. We had to do that because the jack couldn't get close enough to hook onto the plate, which was really easy. It took us 30 seconds maybe to get that off there. But yeah, I did the job, so I'm not upset with it. We're gonna pull more engines with it until we find that we need something a little better. That leads me to the next thing. This engine. Our plan for this is to get the transmission off here, cleaned up. We'll just set it to the side, get the engine on this engine stand here, tear it down, see if it's stock or if that bottom end is bulletproof, like the guy told Ryan. I have a strong suspicion it's just completely stock block. But we'll get it tore down, see what we find, see what the state of the engine's in, and go from there. What the plan is, if we're just gonna do a rebuild on it, or what our plan is. I mean, I want to upgrade. I want new heads. I want a cam. roller rockers. I want to put some money into it. Definitely get it cleaned up, a paint job, but we'll see what it entails. The transmission, we'll just leave it here, and then I got to decide whether I want to put the transmission behind the 4.3 and try to get this thing running again and cruising around until I got the money to build the engine, or just pull this engine. It's a running 4.3. Maybe I can find a cheap like S10 or something, drop it in it and sell it to make some money to come up, get a little come up to build this motor. I also have a Mustang for sale to make the money for this motor, so we'll see what we can do. As of right now, this is the end of the video, and we made it home safe. Thanks for watching TP Toolbox. Toilet paper comes in handy when you're working on a car. Got it right here, plugging up our exhaust ports. So we'll see you next time.
Let's ride.